Among Us is a Unity-based game released in 2018 that took 2020 by storm, almost as much as COVID-19 did. It was developed by Inner Sloth LLC, a team of 3 people. Inner Sloth LLC are known for developing Dig to China and Henry Stickman. From their existing catalog of games, I could see their art style is quite reflective of games you'd see on Newgrounds.com, like Alien Hominid and Castle Crashers. It has this charming thick-stroke vector style, commonly used back in the day when people were just learning how to program, with Adobe Flash's ActionScript. It was a simpler time, where people were just making games for fun and for game jams. You got to see a lot of prototypes for games that would never be finished. Among Us is like one of those games, but commercially sold. Is it a finished product? Is it a good game? Well, continue watching, dear viewer, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about. When I review games, I always think I can analyze them in a bubble, completely separate from time itself and other games out there. But then I realize that with some, if not all games, you just can't do that. You need a reference point. You need to be able to compare to other games in that genre. You see, a lot of viewers hate it when you compare to other games because it glorifies the example and then diminishes the value of the subject. I remember this was the case with Darksiders being compared to Zelda and God of War. The reviewer came off like a disappointed mother. Why can't you be more like your older brother, Darksiders? Typically, websites like IGN and Game Trailers did this. Why do you always have to compare games to other games, the audience will cry. Well, the reason critics compare is because it's the most sensible way to illustrate a point. Matthew Matosis, a popular reviewer who, like myself, tend to compare everything and anything to Dark Souls. He made a wonderful thought experiment, though, about reviewing games. Imagine if you came into this world never playing a video game, and you've never seen any gaming news at all to color your judgment. You are effectively the most unbiased party ever to review games, because remember, having a bias is bad. But seriously, think about it. What would your review even be like? Would it even be any good? In my personal opinion, I think it would be interesting, but not well informed. I've played hundreds of thousands of games, commercially released and otherwise, so I believe it makes sense that you'd believe someone who has a wealth of knowledge in gaming, because they can give a more meaningful comparison to other games. It's about making your point clear. That's why slapping a number on a game means nothing. It's about the thoughts and rationales that lead up to that score. I used to get into this stupid argument with my friend Jesus back in high school. He got into playing games around Halo 2 and thought Halo 3 was the best game of all time. I mean, he was one of those people who camped out in front of Best Buy to get the game. It's newer, thus better, and games like Mario Bros. 3 is old and garbage. Retro equals bad, in his words. I mean, with Mario Bros. 3, there's less features, and it's 2D and not 3D, and it's not popular anymore, so who cares? Why are you playing that? I'm sure that you can agree with me that that is a very primitive way of thinking, but it's a sentiment shared by many people out there. I was around when we were transitioning from 2D to 3D games with the rise of the N64 and PlayStation 1. And listen, I'm sure you can point to someone in your life that believes that being popular and new equates to better. I mean, just take a look at pop music and compare it to old music. Ugh, it's like night and day. But what does any of this have to do with Among Us? Well, it's a cheap-looking game with very few features, but it's ranked in the top 10 games played on Twitch, the premier website for game streaming. That must mean Among Us is one of the best games ever created, because popular equates to good, right? Yeah, let's talk about this game. What is Among Us about? It's a game where up to 10 players are running around in a spaceship trying to complete tasks, like taking out garbage and blasting up asteroids. The catch is that up to 3 people on this ship are imposters who have the ability to sabotage the ship and kill other players. If a dead body is found, or if someone has been acting suspicious, abbreviated as sus, you can call an emergency meeting by pressing the big red button located in the center of the starting room. Once a meeting or report is called, the game now acts as a scene from the reality show Survivor. We need to vote someone off the ship. There's a chat box where players can argue, and people will now be able to cast their votes. Depending on the host's settings, you can cast your votes anonymously. If you're able to discover the imposters, the crew wins. Otherwise, the imposter wins. When you take a step back and look at the game for what it is, the game has a lot of complexity to it, and the potential for fun is there. It's fascinating to see how deceptive people can be, and how different strategies and timing of actions can lead to different chances of success. Sometimes you'll win by just being silent, since some people view talking too much to be sus. Or maybe being too silent is sus. Don't worry, everyone will point out how garbage you are at this game. This game that is effectively a game of chance, like roulette or poker. It could be a game about reading the room of players and thinking how you can convince them you're not suspicious. Or maybe you're like me, and you don't care, because just like roulette, you care about the number of games played. You can give entire dissertations and type eloquently within that 60-second window, and people can still vote you out because shut up, Jim. I personally enjoy it when a game has a social aspect to it. Monopoly and Risk can have players form alliances that you can break any time. It creates this prisoner's dilemma situation, but it's completely up to you and the player you're consorting with to go that route. In Among Us, it's the whole game. It's a game about social dynamics, and that can be a double-edged sword. The game is multiplayer exclusive after all, which means your experience, your fun with this game is dictated by other players. Sometimes you'll join a room where the majority senate are all friends, and they're all in a Discord call to mess with people. Other times, you'll be with a group of people who have the emotional intelligence of children. It's a grab bag type of experience. So fun is varied. A saving grace for this game, no matter the situation, is that sessions will realistically last only a few minutes. As I was recording this game, I played for an hour and a half and was the crewmate 35 times in a row, and I was the imposter once. I only won because people left the room. Now, I did play this game more times than that, prior days, but your experience may be very similar to mine. But that's my main issue with this game, people leaving. I spent a lot of my time waiting for people to join just for them to dip out at the last second. The average patience of people currently in 2020 and 2021 is 8 seconds. That's a fact. Here's the page from Microsoft to prove it. If a room has 9 people of 10, you'll have people spam in chat to start. Then they leave as soon as the 10th person showed, and now you're back at 9. When you start with 9, and someone leaves anyway, now you're at 8. When a player dies, they leave, and now you have to repeat this entire cycle of crossing your fingers for people to stay. Honestly, this is my issue with most multiplayer exclusive games. When the stars align, the game is fun, but getting a room of 9 other strangers to keep patient is so statistically unlikely. So what if you play with just your real friends, your real life friends? Okay, listen here, I don't have 9 other people to coordinate a playdate for this game. That is asking a lot. If I can get 9 other people to get together, we'd be doing something else. The most I can achieve is 4 other people, and let me tell you, it helps, but damn does this game get old after a few minutes. On a fundamental level, is this game fun? Yes, but not a lot is there. Even when the stars align, I felt the most fun happened when I was trolling and screwing with people as a crewmate, and I saw the same level of intelligence from the player base as I saw in League of Legends. And when I was the imposter, it was oddly satisfying killing players who ran off in random areas and then pretending to do stuff. The novelty of the game wears off really fast, and I certainly would recommend the mobile version of the game because it's free and made for people sitting on the toilet. This lack of sustainable fun was the exact same problem I had with the game Deceit and Dead by Daylight. Those were games very similar to Among Us, where you have survivors and they have to advance to another room, and there was a player who was a monster. Once you play enough times as both sides of the coin, you tend to get sick of it. It becomes a game of autopiloting. It's just a game to play because you have nothing else to do. Most likely with Among Us, you'll play it for about 20 minutes total while you're watching YouTube or Netflix on another monitor. You're half paying attention to the game because there's just not enough here to stimulate you. If you fully commit your attention to the game, you'll be stuck clicking for rooms, and if you do make a room, you'll get so peeved because people don't stay. When you start a game, someone is going to call an emergency meeting ASAP, and the rationales people give during these reports/meetings are so asinine and juvenile, you'll feel nothing but shame and disappointment for the entire human race. The game is $5 on Steam. It's a decent time killer if you have nothing else to play. The game can run on practically any device, and again, it's free on mobile last time I checked. My ultimate takeaway from playing Among Us is, it's good, I guess, and that translates, dear viewer, to a soft 7 out of 10. Leaning more towards a 6, but I'm being generous. I had some good laughs trolling, but the novelty wears off fast. The art style is cute, and if I look at the game as a prototype on a fundamental level, it is functionally fun. But I couldn't say it was a great or amazing game. I think it needs updates to the matchmaking because constantly dipping in and out of rooms is ridiculous, and the penalties for leaving active games should be punished for more than 5 minutes. It's so annoying having games end so fast because people leave for no reason. It's like everyone has ADHD. I know that Among Us is extremely popular and that this is another video put on the pile. But imagine if this is 20 years in the future. COVID-19 is gone and we can look back on that weird flash-looking game of 2020. Was it good? Remember, new games are being brought into our world every year, so I make evergreen content for this channel. And this video are my thoughts and reasonings for giving Among Us a 7 out of 10. It's a good game. I do like aspects of Among Us, and it did make me think more about how to review multiplayer exclusive games. I stated in my Tulip review that when you strip a game down to its fundamentals and everything was just simple blocks and shapes, you have to see if it's fun. If we took away all the art of Among Us, is it fun? Yes, but not a 10 out of 10 perfect experience. The issues of Among Us are the same you'd see with other multiplayer exclusive games. People leaving, gaming the room, and the need for a player base. It's cute, cheap fun, and does it deserve to be number 10 most popular game right now? The internet will do as it pleases. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and do all the other stuff YouTubers ask for. And please, most importantly, drop a suggestion for a game that I can review in the comment section below. And have a great day.